Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality that's here, and as it happens, the day after Live and Wired is when huge news drops on the internet like, yeah, you better talk about this if you want to be up on that stuff. Now, also it helps that I didn't exactly know what I was going to be making a video of today. It was this or depression, so let's get into it. Grand Theft Auto 6. Big leaks confirmed, yes, true, real, happened. Get that out of the way right away. It's been a while since it hit from when I'm recording this. It seems to date back to about 12, 13 hours ago when it just dropped, and around then a lot of people were wondering, is it real? People were saying that they have contacts in Rockstar saying yes, it is real. Rockstar has been hitting videos with DMCA takedown notices, so in case you want to see the actual leaks, I'm afraid you're not going to hear. But I have very interesting things to discuss about what I have seen, my thoughts on it, and of course the big elephant in the room, there is a lot of bad stuff because of these leaks, and we should acknowledge that. Of course, no one wants to have their game leaked out early, like any kind of stuff. There's usually very big controls there, and it's kind of obvious why, because there's a lot of people out there who are saying that these leaks look absolutely terrible. This looks, not even as good as Grand Theft Auto 5. It's, graphically, it's just astonishingly bad. And it's like, of course, it's a prototype build. The characters look like crash test dummies. They are absolutely not the final product, the look they're going for, unless they're going for a really meta take on NPCs here. I really don't think that this is what they're going for. And all the footage, it's clearly they're testing the systems, they're seeing if this works, if that works, trying to get everything together here. But there's a lot of people that some are wondering if everyone has been spoiled by, or not necessarily spoiled, but just kind of deceived by the deceptive practices of the games industry at large, where here's our preview of this game that's coming out in 3 years, and it's this vertical slice, and it's got all this stuff going on that is absolutely not done yet, but it's all working so beautifully together, and it looks so great. And then the game comes out and you find out they cut half the features, and when you try to do the things that were in the preview that was totally real, they don't frickin' work. So, there's that. But besides that, there's a worry that this is going to actually delay Grand Theft Auto 6, and that's not entirely unfounded, because one of the things that the leaker alleges to have is the source code. And if that would get out, then it would mean that, like, day one, you'd have wall hacks, you'd have teleportation hacks. It would be like the worst multiplayer kind of thing you could imagine right out the gate. No stopping it. Everyone's got every back door. You can't really do anything about that. Now, they were saying that they were going to leak it later, which got me wondering, why would they want to leak it later when they've dropped like 60 videos of the prototype build and all that stuff, which also people have pointed out that it is an old build. It seems to be running on a version of Windows 10 that dates back to 2019, so yeah, we're talking about at least 3-year-old footage here. Guy says that they're going to leak the source code later. At least that's what they were saying before, and I was wondering, like, that doesn't really make too much sense to say that you're going to do that when you're dropping all this stuff, but you're not dropping that just yet, and I figured there had to be a reason why, and I was already thinking that it's gotta be extortion. And as things have progressed, it does appear that that is panning out. Now, they haven't said things directly saying, oh yes, Rockstar, please give me a few $1 million and I won't release this source code. But they have leaked like 2 lines of the source code to prove that they do really have it. And they have said that they are interested in getting in contact with Rockstar to maybe discuss a deal. And so that doesn't sound like they are extorting Rockstar, like, yes, how about a few mil my way and I won't leak the source code. Or I could just leak it and ruin your $100 million game that you're working on before you even get it out the gate. Before you even had a time that you wanted to actually be able to show it to people for the first time. I already ruined that for you. So it's skeezy as all. It's scummy, not good person, But will this delay Grand Theft Auto 6? If they release all the source code, yes. But there is, of course, the alternative kind of outcomes of this. Rockstar could slip them a few million, and then they don't release it, and the game does not get delayed. Or, the good ending, they don't get to release the code, and they get their asses just ripped through the court system by Rockstar. Because, the source code itself is still Rockstar's creation. It is their intellectual property. They have intellectual property rights for creating things. You don't have to file a copyright to have a copyright. To prove it, yes. It helps in court a lot, but just creating something, it defaults to your copyright. So the source code, it's not like he took a picture of the source code and then that's his picture of something. He's got the source code and he's redistributing, or he's saying he's going to redistribute it. And that is a violation right there. You cannot do that without the permission. So, yeah, that's the best I can kind of armchair analyst, internet lawyer this up with. I'm not the smartest of this, and I don't know everything and all the ins and outs. I don't think there's a loophole that they can get away with this kind of stuff, but, that's what it is. But I'm pretty sure that their idea is like, I could just press the button and then boom, there it is, and it's gonna be everywhere, and they can't stop that. It's already been like the biggest leak ever. In the leaks, there is the stuff that I am interested in, that being the game itself and what it entails and what have you. Now, of course, it doesn't look pretty because it's a prototype build and they're not working on that right now. They're not. It looks like something that was kind of being tooled around with the 2019 Windows 10, maybe on a PlayStation development kit, like way back in the day. So it's, the performance doesn't look great. It's got a lot of problems. It's not a looker, and a lot of the city shots and stuff is just devoid of life. And that's, it's a prototype build. What do you expect? This is how it goes. This is game development. You're looking at it. It's amazing. But there are a couple of things that are interesting in terms of seeing the gameplay systems that are being worked on and what that would mean for the game going forward. Now, the whole thing, you don't want any kind of spoilers for Grand Theft Auto 6 in regards to the leaks. There have been things people have said before, and people wanted information on Grand Theft Auto 6, and there have been some things that have come and gone in time and time. But if you don't want any kind of spoilers and such for any of the gameplay systems, don't want to hear my thought on that, then, it don't matter. But I'm about to get into that. A while back, there was a talk about it being sort of a Bonnie and Clyde kind of two main characters. One would be a Latina woman, and that seems to be the case here. From what I could tell, it has a pretty simple switch back and forth between them. A lot of the test areas, there was only one of them, but in a lot of the areas they were kind of together. So I'm wondering if it's because Grand Theft Auto 5 had 3 playable characters, so 2 is less than 3, obviously. So why would they go for that other than just, it kind of works for this story? Are they going to add another one later? I don't see another one anywhere in any of the prototype preview stuff. But they do have a thing where it kind of just jumps between the two, and the testing jumping from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and the player controlling one versus the other. I'm wondering if I'm just throwing this out there. There's nothing that I've seen in any of the leaks to suggest that this is the thing, but I'm wondering if this was either an idea at one point or is a potential idea down the road. Is a co-op campaign kind of situation where you can actually have 2 players online, one playing one of the main characters, one playing the other main character, and have it kind of work like you do with Resident Evil 5 kind of thing where, in Resident Evil you play as one or the other, but in this, you'd be able to jump between the two, have missions where one character's doing one thing, another's doing another, give the player the option to choose whatever they want to be doing at any time rather than the more scripted and just straightforward, now you're controlling him, now you're controlling him, now you have to switch to him to do this part, now switch to them. More of the freer where you can just pick which part you want to do based on which character you're controlling, or just have the entire thing be 2-player co-op. Now, that is a bit on the tougher side to design out, so, and like I said, I didn't see anything in the leaks to say that, yes, that's definitely there, so that's more of a wish list item for me. I think I would like to play it with Macha. She could be the Bonnie, I could be the Clyde. There we go. Then there was some other things where they were showing the ability to drop weapons, and I'm thinking, like, if you just got an NPC partner with you, why would you have to be able to drop the weapon? But then again, also the inventory seemed smaller this time. There seemed to be a lot more systems kind of coming over from Red Dead Redemption 2, where there's a more detail in the world in certain instances. Like they had a bit with a diner robbery. There was a lot of little intricate detail, a lot of things going on, a whole ton of NPCs, a whole bunch of stuff just all interacting with each other. They're aiming the gun at the one guy, and there's 3 options that come up. Only one of them actually had anything on it in the build, but it was more akin to a hold-up in Red Dead Redemption versus just pointing a gun at someone in Grand Theft Auto 5. So there's all that. People have been seeing the deeper systems in terms of just how the car parts are animated between the visors and the clutch and the steering wheel position and all that customizable. Just a lot of things going on in a lot of ways there. And one other thing was a smaller inventory, and I'm thinking, like, well, that isn't a terrible thing in a Grand Theft Auto game if you have 2 small inventories. I do like Grand Theft Auto having a whole lot of guns that you just have in your back pocket. It's like, I'm just walking down the street, someone just called me a joik, I'm just gonna pull a minigun out of my butt, and there we go. Like, it's just kind of, I enjoy that aspect of Grand Theft Auto, but Red Dead Redemption 2 was a lot slower paced of a game, and they had, you had your horse inventory, you had only so many guns you could carry on you at any specific time. It was a lot slower paced, a lot more controlled, a lot more realistic, but a different flavor to Grand Theft Auto. And seeing the smaller inventory and the gun dropping in Grand Theft Auto 6 kind of hints at a more realistic and slower approach there, but like I said, if you have 2 inventories and you have access to that at any time, you technically don't carry less guns, but that's if you are controlling both characters all the time. Kind of like you have one that is you, and then you have your AI partner, or your online partner. I don't know, I have wish lists. So it seems like an interesting thing there. I don't see much so far in terms of overall story, other than the fact that it does appear to take place in Vice City, which, that's good. It's been a long time, a long time. So, and there's still all the talk they had with, Project Americas, the leaks from before, talking about adding more cities and more chunks of land and just being able to have a absolutely massive Grand Theft Auto game, which I think also sounds pretty awesome. I wouldn't mind some Grand Theft Auto Dallas going on, just saying. It'd be a fun little romp, as everyone else is like, when are we getting to San Andreas? Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks dropped, seemed to be real. Last I saw, there's some extortion going on. I hope the leaker gets what's coming to him on that one, and I wish the best for Rockstar in this. I think your prototype looks nice, and I'm sorry that so many people have been spoiled by smoke and mirrors for so long that they don't understand how game design works. It's okay, Tara, you're a cat. You don't have to understand. You don't got thumbs. You don't. Okay, I'll get the door for you in a minute. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Shado. And remember, don't be depressed. Those poor guys at Rockstar have it real tough right now.